This is Lee the Appraiser back for another segment of Amazing Appraising here from the APR 57 Gallery. How's everyone doing? I hope they're doing well. We are going to be talking about this is the watch segment, okay? Watch talk, like we say. This is a very beautiful, what we're holding here is a very, very beautiful Rolex, about 1970. It's called a gold case. It's not solid gold. Rolex stopped making these watches. My understanding is because they preferred people spend tens of thousands of dollars for the gold ones. So this one is stainless steel with a solid gold plate. It has the automatic oyster perpetual movement. It has the black dial with the gold markers and gold hands. And it is in absolutely brand new condition. It has the date feature at 3 o'clock, and it comes on a very beautiful custom colored handmade European dark green style strap. You can switch the strap, of course, but this is a very, very beautiful timepiece in gem mint condition, and really, really beautiful. So a watch like this would retail probably upwards of $5,000. If you have any like this, let us know. We would love to appraise them and make you a good offer. This one happens to be condition-wise probably 100 out of 100, like absolutely perfect. So if you have anything like this, please let us know. If you're looking to buy one, of course, we have a lot in stock. We're one of the few dealers that have Rolexes in stock. Rolex itself, the company, doesn't have any available. But if you have any, please let us know. We're happy to look at them, appraise them for you, and tell you what they're worth and make you very, very high cash offers. Okay, now we're going to be talking about a brand which we normally don't discuss. It's called Invicta. So Invicta has their reputation. They make very nice Swiss watches, but typically they're known for selling, we'll say, lower end to moderate priced watches, and they sell a lot of them on TV. They have boutiques around the country that sell them. I think they have one in Times Square. Typically their watches retail anywhere from several hundred up to maybe $1,000 to $2,000. This is one of their watches that retails almost $15,000. Okay, it's extra large, extra heavy. They call this particular model, I think they call it let's check exactly so I don't want to make a mistake with this. They call it the Flame Fusion Blue Label. Wow, sounds like a scotch, doesn't it? Blue Label, I think so. Well, I guess
right.
It's the price of an expensive bottle of scotch. So it has probably about 700 diamonds studded throughout the dial and the bezel. It has a very special automatic perpetual movement. It's sort of made in a deep blue ceramic, and it's just a very cool model. And the retail price is about 15 grand on this, which is really one of their most expensive. I mean, can you believe it? It's like 2 or 3 times the price of a Rolex, and you're buying an Invicta. But anyhow, I mean, we discount them, so our price on this would be much, much less than 5 grand. And the watch is brand new, but just to give you an idea. So this is a very unusual Invicta watch. You don't see them too often that have a retail price of over 3 grand. So it's got like gold tone markers on this, and I think it's made with a special blue fusion crystal that like is sort of unbreakable. So that's very cool. So that's what we're talking about watches today. So if you have any Rolex, Patek, Cartier, anything like that, you're looking to identify, price, repair, fix, let us know. We're happy to address any of your concerns. Just bring the items in, call or text us, and we're happy to price them and evaluate them for you. So we're now going to be talking about one of my first items that I started collecting, which is rare stamps. Okay, so just to give everybody a quick rundown on that. What are stamps? Stamps are basically the paper, the currency that was used or still done, but on a limited basis, to mail letters. So if you had to mail a letter, you had to buy a stamp from the government, you would put the stamp on the envelope. That would constitute you, in essence, you were paying for their service, and whatever it cost, a nickel, a penny, a dime, to mail that letter to, whether it's a block away or in New Jersey or to Germany or France, wherever it might be. You bought those stamps, you put it on the letter, and you mailed the letter. So those stamps were made typically by the various governments that you were in, that you used the service. And the government made a lot of money making stamps, because every stamp that was made that wasn't used, and even today it's not used, it's considered pure profit for the government. You got that, Vic? Mm-hmm. That's like pure profit. If they can, like, for example, Israel started issuing stamps. They were a country, and I guess they were founded in officially. I mean, they had Palestine before that, but in 1948, Israel became their own country, and they issued stamps, obviously, starting in that date. And a lot of people, especially Jewish people, felt that they wanted to support the country, and if they could buy stamps of Israel, and initially the stamps went up a lot in value. This is starting in the 70s and the 80s, and you would buy a lot of Israeli stamps. They would go up in value, so you owned basically something from the country, and you made an investment in the country, and the money went to the state of Israel because they printed the stamps. So it was a very nice way to basically give money to the state of Israel, and also hopefully appreciate the value of your collection as it went up in value. So it was sort of like a double bonus there, where you could basically rationalize you're giving charity to some degree, you're supporting the state of Israel, and you're also making a very good investment. And there's some issues what happened after that, but basically the stamps of Israel went up quite a bit in value, I would say, up until about the year 2000. Since then, the hobby has changed a little over the years. It used to be, wow, so many people were stamp collectors. The young kids were stamp collectors, middle-aged adults. Everyone was a stamp collector. It was like the most popular hobby in the world. And I would say starting, unfortunately, probably in 2000, maybe 2010, what happened is our younger generation just didn't appreciate the things that the older generations did. But anyhow, what was I talking about? So we were talking about stamps, what they are, right? I don't know how we got sidetracked. But anyhow, so we were talking about stamps, what they use them for. So the government uses them, right? Okay, so Israel stamps, right, so they became popular until the early 2000s, and then the kids today really got disenchanted with stamps and coins and other things like that. And so what do the kids today like? Okay, so they like video games, computers, things along those things. They everything that can be watched on mobile devices, movies, videos, etc., etc. So that is the story with them. So the stamp collecting in general has died down. We're hoping that it picks up. If you guys, anyone out there, and if you have any kids or grandkids, that it's a great hobby to sit down with them. You can buy some inexpensive stamps. You can start them collecting. You know, I learned everything I know about history is from stamp collecting. I look at a stamp, I look at it, I learned it when I was 7 years old, how to differentiate and figure out what country the stamp was made from based on the name, the denomination. It was written in foreign languages, but I learned how to figure that out. And it was really a gift to be able to do that and to learn to do that, and I really enjoyed it. To find the stamps in the catalog, know how to look them up. Same with coins. Every kid, not every kid, but a lot of kids were given, a piggy bank full of old pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters that were used over the years, that were older ones. We would sort through them. We'd put them in the books by the year, by the condition. And that's how kids started to collect stamps and coins. And that was one of the things that started my collection. So we're going to talk just a bit here. So what do we have here? So what we have is a stamp here that's in extremely fine condition, postmarked. People want the stamp centered. That means that it should be symmetrically in the middle with the perforations. And it has the postmark of the postcard there as well. So this is an item that the Graf Zeppelins, I remember in the, I guess, mid-1980s, These stamps in perfect condition, unused, there was a set of 3. They were selling for up to $10,000 a set. And I remember as a kid, when I was just starting out, I sold a set of sheets for like $250,000. I didn't have the money, of course, but I brokered the sale. I sold it to one of my clients, and I made like $1,000 on selling the whole set. So they were selling for up to $10,000 a set at one point. Now they sell today for about $1,500, $2,000 in perfect condition. So we are holding here. This is the first issue of the Stamps of Israel in 1948. This is what is called a first day cover. This set of stamps was issued on May 16th, 1948. And this shows, they're called Dor Ivri. These are the first set of stamps commemorating the coins and currency of Israel. The first 9 stamps that they ever issued is considered a set. This is in extremely fine condition. It's postmarked. The day of the issuance of the stamps, which just makes it a first day cover. And it has the 3 most valuable stamps Israel issued. These 3 stamps in perfect mint condition with the original tabs. The tabs are the bottom selvage of the sheet of stamps that was originally issued. So I'll just go into, so this item sells for about $500 approximately. I'll just give everybody who's not familiar with stamps a quick brief course on stamp collecting. So you have the single stamps that were issued. If they are new, they are called in mint condition. Most stamps, 95% of them were issued with gum on the back. So you prefer to have the gum intact. That means not have a damage on the back, not be hinged. Hinged is a terminology that's used where one takes a stamp. They used to do it like this. They would put there's like a little cellophane adhesive that they would fold over. They would lick that cellophane adhesive, would have a little sticky on it, and they would lick it, and they would put part of that sticky in the album page, that hinge, and part of it would be on the stamp. So the stamp would stick in the album page by this tiny little piece, maybe 3/4 of an inch by 1/2 an inch of this little light cellophane, and they would put the stamp in the album page. Typically it would be with a picture, a photograph of the stamp, so you knew which one went in there, and you'd be able to display the stamp in your album. You would try to fill in all the pictures there, all the spaces, and that was the basis of stamp collecting. It would be sorted by country. Okay, Germany, Spain, France, you'd have all these different countries there that would have pictures of the stamps. You'd buy the album and fill them in. So that's basically, and those stamps, if they were unused, they would be called mint condition. So people collected them both mint and used. Used would mean they would have postmarks on the stamps. They went through the postal service. They were on envelopes. They were mailed, and typically maybe if you collected used stamps at one point or another, you had the envelope. People would cut them off on the envelope, cut the paper, and then they would soak the paper and take the stamps off, and they would be used with the postmarks. So you collect them typically mint and used. And then there was another variety which was called first day covers, which we discussed with the Israeli stamps, that you have a stamp or an envelope that has 1, 2, or 3 stamps depending on whether it's a set or not, and if they were mailed. So if they could have them just on the envelope, or you could have them on, and that would be what they call postal stationery or used on cover. And then if that stamp or stamps happen to have been mailed and postmarked the very same day the stamps were issued, that the stamp was issued, say, July 4th, 1930, and you have it mailed and postmarked July 4th, 1930, that is called a first day cover. And in many cases, the early ones are worth a tremendous amount of money. Sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. So if you have any like that, or you're not sure if you have anything like that, please bring it in. We love looking at them. We love buying and appraising these type of items. Stamps is like my first love. I enjoy it. I'd love to see that. So those are called first day covers. And then you have on the sheets of 100, you have what's called plate blocks, and those are the numbers that were associated with the sheets, and people collected the blocks of 4, in some cases the blocks of 6. And those are called plate blocks or plate number blocks. And then, of course, if you have the whole sheet, it's called a full sheet. It's called, some people collected full sheets. Those are quite rare, quite expensive, etc. So I gave you a quick rundown of stamp collecting, of how people collect stamps. If you have anything and stamps that you wish to, again, appraise, sell, if you're a collector and there's certain things you're looking for, please let us know. We'd love to help you. We have a huge inventory of stamps, and that's it.